How is it going, guys? I know it's been like a month since my last upload. Life has just gotten like crazy busy, like so many schedule changes have come up. So basically I've decided that with the schedule and everything that I have, that I will be uploading every Sunday. So that's the goal, and we're gonna keep at it and we're gonna do it. So today I wanted to talk about like my ownership basically of this beautiful STI that we got here. And I made notes. Yes, getting real informational, old school for this one. I basically made 10 points and just 10 things like that I'm going to talk about. And I've had this car since October of 2020. October 8th is the exact date that I took delivery. And that would be over 8 months now. So yeah, let's get right into it. So this is my 2018 STI. If you guys have not seen any other videos on the channel. All right, let's get right into it. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is just a couple of basic things. For the past 8 months of having this car, I've driven it about 15,000 kilometers. I've done 3 oil changes, an oil filter change. I've put in shell gas in it, 91. And the car is running really well so far. Doesn't burn any oil, and I haven't had any complaints. I prefer Shell. You don't necessarily have to put Shell 91 in your car, but definitely run 91 or higher is what I would recommend if you want this engine to like you. Now, let's talk about, for the second thing, reliability. Now, so far, since I haven't only had this car for about 8 months or so, I haven't had any issues, so it's been pretty reliable to me, no major issues, and I can't really complain about it. So I guess it all depends on how you drive it and who had the car before you and if you buy new or anything like that. For the third thing, this is going to be a little bit of a longer one, is gas. Basically, this car is not the best on gas, which is I think one of the reasons why a lot of people go with a WRX instead. And it does get better MPGs, obviously. Although, if you're going to buy a performance car, like, you should obviously take the gas and stuff into consideration. That is not going to be like driving a Honda or Prius, something like that, and you have to be ready for it. Now, my fuel economy is like pretty good anyways, because I don't like drive it hard. I also don't like drive it too like often. I'm not driving like 200-300 kilometers a day. So yeah, like my gas mileage has been pretty good, although it's about miles per gallon. Am I right? So for the fourth thing, like I just want to say, like basically after like 8 months, this is what my car looks like. Not too much going on, just like a few things here and there. I am gonna get the front mud flaps. I have those on order. Well, I got a full set on order, so I got to take these back ones off. And yeah, basically she's looking pretty sleek in my opinion. All blacked out. I also got a nameless performance exhaust, and I'll throw in a clip for you right now. For the fifth thing, let's just talk about daily driving. Basically, my personal experience and opinion, this car is not the easiest to daily drive, obviously. Especially in traffic, it can get really brutal and frustrating. I think I've said in a couple of previous videos, this clutch is like heavy and it takes a lot of time to get used to. So, I mean, it is a performance car, so I guess that is expected. But yeah, once you get used to it, it is super fun to drive. Like I've been daily driving it since October, since I've got it, and yeah, it takes a lot of time to get used to, but it is very much fun to drive. The sixth thing that I wanted to talk about right quick is something that I really like, is most STI or just other Subi owners, they will always like wave at you while you're driving. And I really like that. And if you like run into one of them in public, you can make pretty good conversation and just like maybe even make a new friend. That's how I met one of my friends actually at Mod Properly. Here, I'll just put up his Instagram. He helps me out with my car like quite a lot actually, and gives me a lot of good advice and everything. And if you live in the Calgary area and you have a WRX or an STI or Evo, Focus RS, or even GTI Golf R, definitely hit him up if you need anything. And yeah, basically I parked at his work one day and I did not know that he was there. And I came back, his car was gone, but there was a note on my windshield, and that's how we met. And yeah, basically he's a good friend of mine. And it's also always fun talking to other Subi owners at car meets too, I find. Now the seventh thing we're gonna talk about is big one with this car is how's the motor holding up. Basically, I don't drive this car hard. I do some pulls here and there, but I never take the car to red line. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I switch gears every single gear at 3K RPMs. Like, I bought at the same time, I don't drive or launch it like a 16-year-old with a race car. I have respect for my car, and I plan on keeping it for a long time. So, you know, I want to make the best out of it, but still have fun at the same time. The eighth thing that I wanted to touch up on right quick, just overall, like in my experience, you have to really just appreciate this car for what it is. You know, like it's super fun to drive, and it's a great handling car, and like honestly, like if you really want one, you can definitely get it. I also find, off topic, that a lot of people always want to race you, but I guess that's kind of a given as well. So the ninth thing that I wanted to touch up on is basically just like protection and keeping this car in like tip-top shape for the paint and everything. Now, since I live in Calgary, Alberta, I'm running paint protection film on, I don't know if you can like see, yeah, there it is, the line. So I'm running paint protection film on the hood, the bumper, the mirrors, and so this car also is ceramic coated. So basically, it's a lot easier to wash, and it helps prevent from like small scratches and stuff like that. So yeah, if you live in Alberta, I highly recommend like paint protection film because it will save you. And since I plan on keeping this car for a very long time, I think it's definitely needed. So the last thing that I wanted to touch up on, basically, I just wanted to say I do not recommend this car as your first car. It's just like there's like a lot of you just have to have, like, in my opinion, you should have like experience with something like sporty, or at least like a manual transmission before you get into one of these. I know of a couple people who had this as their first car, and I personally, if I was 16 and I got this car, it would not last. I would probably have no respect for it. It just wouldn't go well. I had a BRZ for 2 years before this. It's a slow car, I know, but it kind of gets you into like this, like a sporty car basically. So you kind of get like an idea, and you kind of learn to respect cars more and more in that scenario. So yeah, I don't recommend it as a first car, but once you have a little bit of experience with manual and preferably a sports car, yeah, definitely consider one. Now, if it's like your hella dream car and you know you're gonna respect it and you're gonna get it as your first car, just yeah, basically maintenance. Don't launch the car. Don't do stupid modifications, and like basically this motor doesn't react the best to like shitty modifications. So you got to be on the lookout, watch YouTube, do your research before you get into this car, because this EJ motor is it's got its flaws for sure. So if you want it the most reliable, you can keep it stock, but if you want a lot of power and you have never had an STI, you definitely have to do your research and just before you get into this car. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in and staying until the end of this video. I know my schedule hasn't been the most consistent, and just the past couple of months, like, you know, still life is like, it's just getting busier, and as you're like, you know, growing and turning into more of an adult, just a lot of things come up, and sometimes you just have to like focus on other things. But with my current schedule and everything, I am planning on uploading a video every single Sunday, so that's the goal. And yeah, so there's more things to come. Thank you guys again for the support, and yeah. So have a great day. Peace.